Now, most would discard this piece of fabric. And in this politically charged season, I find that we really have to take care in generalizing about lazy people taking advantage of our political system or our welfare system. And admittedly, there are some who do not apply themselves. I once made some mental notes about a young mom who had 5 stair-step children, and many of them possessed different last names. While that gift of giving season, I sat down with the mother and wrapped gifts with her, and she told me her story. At age 8, she witnessed the death of her mother by throat slashing. At that moment, she needed love. And then her custody was given to some relatives who abused her. She really needed love. Finally, as a teen, she ran away, and she thought a series of men loved her. And then she had a baby at age 15, 16, 17, 18, and 20. She needed real love. She nearly lost her parenting rights, but enrolled in the prescribed programs of the court system, eventually earning a GED and attending the community college. And through therapy, she discovered that deep inside, she was still that horrified 8-year-old. Since no one had nurtured her during those developmental years, she didn't know how to care for herself, let alone 5 children. She only had a negative frame of reference about what family was, about who she was. She was frayed, she was a cast-off piece of fabric, and we must gather those near. Now, how can I use this ugly piece? I don't even know why I bought it, but I guess I bought it to have today. Well, one day, an MLK girl, she would wear a babushka to school, and she was always kind of scratching her head, and she had some dreadlocks coming out. And school picture day came, and the teacher decided to help straighten her hair a little bit for the photographer, and in doing so, a clump of hair fell off into the teacher's hand, and there was glue on the end of it. She discovered it was an artificial clump of hair. Upon closer inspection, it was noted that the little girl was bald, her scalp was infected, and the mother had thought that her head was ugly and did what she could with her limited financial resources. To solve the problem, she glued tufts of hair on this child's head. Well, with the nurse at MLK, we arranged medical attention for this child and bought her a quality wig so that she could look pretty until her natural hair grew back and she would be beautiful again. So poverty can be a very ugly fiber, but when you surround that piece with love, it softens the edges and beauty emerges. I brought along a scary piece of fabric with some ghosts on it. An MLK teacher recently shared with me that she interacted with a boy that had a chip on his shoulder, and he was always late for school, falling asleep in class, the model student. And as part of the sentimental circle lesson, he was asked to bring an important object to school. Well, he brought a butter tub with duct tape wrapped around it, attaching it to a little Lego mobile that had some lights on it. And he had these little pokey pin things sticking out of it. And the teacher said, "Wow, you made that? What a great toy." Well, with sadness and disappointment, the boy said, "It's not a toy. I made it to keep the rats away at night. When it's dark, they come out and they crawl on me when I'm in bed. I can't sleep and I'm late for school every day. The car scares them away, but the only problem is it doesn't keep going, and I have to get up and keep resetting it." Scary material is in our quilt. And I would never put a piece of stained fabric like this in my quilt, and the stained fabrics in our kids' lives don't do either. And excuse me, an anonymous comment was dropped in the worry sack exercise, where children can put problems that they want to discuss. Quote, "My biggest worry is that gangs shoot around our house. I think the bullets are going to come in our window and hurt us." Well, 3 years ago, I was called in the middle of the summer when school was out asking for help to secure a grave marker for a 19-year-old boy who had gone to Henry School. He was gunned down by gangs. I arranged the purchase with the monument company. I proofread the etching to make sure it was correct. And I just thought, whoa, wait a minute. My job is running a tutoring reading center. What am I doing? What happens to our kids? 2 of our middle schoolers last summer were shot in different incidents. So there is real fear for these children. And their lives are stained in many ways, lives that should be carefree.